I don't mean to turn people off or throw people off. I know sometimes that like I may like laugh or whatever, but I don't think this is a laughing matter. It's just that I don't know how else to cope with the fact that I may like have to chaperone my daughter when she's going on dates. Just because she's a woman and people seem to hate women more, and it's unusual. Um, another thing. I grew up where I knew that once I stepped outside my community, I would be seen as like I wouldn't be respected. I grew up knowing that there are racist people in this world and that I live in a community and I live in a family that's like obviously loving of black women, loving of all different races. I grew up in West Philly and then we moved to Delaware in the United States. And I grew up in a like middle class family. Like we started off really poor and then we got a good amount of money and we went from like from lower class to lower middle class, and we kind of stayed lower middle to maybe like middle class at one point. I mean, I can't really say how much my parents were making, but we had like a 5 bedroom house. We lived in Lancaster, PA. We had like lots of resources. We had a like big flat screen TV. I grew up with a lot of privileges. So I just when we stepped outside of our community of West Philly and we moved to other communities, I was still around people that were diverse, but I just wasn't around so many brown and black people. So like I was always conscious of the fact that like people would judge me because I'm black, but I never was met with hatred, more so just met with curiosity. Sometimes people would be a bit stereotypical, nothing like what's happening today within the community. Because even when I would, like, where we moved to a suburban area when I was growing up, and I didn't really feel so much like welcomed in some areas, in some parts of our community, I didn't wasn't met with so much hate. And I could always go back to Philly and feel comfortable and feel loved and feel appreciated and feel like, okay, it's great being black. I don't feel that today. Today, people just seem to hate black women. And it's like I've done a lot of manifesting, a lot of meditating, and a lot of traveling, and found a good black man that loves me and provides for me. But we have had to fight for our relationship. It's not like, um, we've had our run in with negative people that don't want to see two people happy. As much as I would love to just wave my magic wand and be like, okay, everyone get free healthcare, everybody can go to therapy, mandatory therapy, or if you go to a counselor, you go to a psychiatrist, you get a check. Like, you know, I don't I'm not that powerful. I'm not that powerful of a manifester. I don't have a fairy wand or wave my wand, but I wish I could, because that's what we're lacking. So where did I think the breakdown begin when it came to the breakdown in the black community in the early 2000s, when our music, like, for some reason people always attribute one form of music to our culture, like hip hop, R&B, which isn't really the best, and it's like layered with misogyny today. Spoken word is a major part of our culture, but like jazz, country, and blues is also very much more classical, when it comes to Black American culture. Unfortunately, people just want to pay attention to what they're calling hip hop today, which is really not hip hop. It's trash to me, okay? Hate me all you like. I mean, whatever. I'm a big fan of jazz. Listening to some now. So like there, growing up in the early 2000s, when I became a teenager, I would hear from people in my community that like, no, black men only like light skinned women, and and there was a lot of hatred towards dark skinned women, so the whole colorism thing. And then it went to like, oh, black women wear fake hair hats, to black women embracing their natural hair, and then people not honoring that. People in our community not truly honoring that, and favoring those who have a hair texture similar to my daughter's hair texture, who's Italian and African American and Middle Eastern. But so like that's something that occurred in the early 2000s onward. It was like, okay, there's a problem with black women wearing weaves. Let's embrace our natural hair. Oh, there's a problem with certain hair textures. There's nothing really to do. Let's date outside of our race. And then you have white supremacists who have a problem with black women moving outside of their race. So what do? They weaponize young men in their community, and there's like all types of propaganda videos that you guys, who, if you're watching, probably are unaware of because it's on the dark web, in which it just like promotes violence towards women who are my skin tone, darker, for a particular certain reason. Whatever reason it is, it's chaotic. So these are things to investigate. I think that the FBI have been investigating, like this group called Incels, but regardless, it's not a safe place. My experience here has been one that's been privileged. Going forward, I won't have an experience here because I'm considering being an expat. So we may move to Germany, we may move to Canada. As much as I love this place, and my ancestors sacrificed and invested here in the United States, and I have indigenous ancestry, I want to be safe. I want to be safe. So we may move to Canada, we may move to Germany. All those who are here, I wish you the best, and just like keep your head up and know that it's a spiritual battle, because when it comes to women of color, we are one of the oldest forms of the mother nature, which obviously our creator has a divine love, spiritual relationship with. The darker the soil, the more lush the land. These are things that common tropes in nature, So I wish you guys the best. I mean, if you have any questions, comment below. Unfortunately, there's been so much stuff that I've been hearing on the news. It's kind of weighed me down a bit, but my children and my manifestation, my mantras keep me level, to keep me geared, focused on my goal.